Okay, so we're now, 15 games into the season, and guess what I thought? What a perfect time to make a video of me overreacting to everything we've watched so far. I'm obviously joking, but in this video today, I'm just going to be talking about what I've seen, players I like, players I don't like in a rotation, Nick Nurse, the roster, just everything Sixers related. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we're 15 games in now, 10-5 with a 5 seed, but the Magic, Bucks, Heat, and Sixers all have the same record. So there's like 5 teams with the same record. So the Magic are the second seed with the 10-5 record as well. So we're all the same. But as a whole, it's like, I'm not disappointed at all. Obviously, the scheduling has been bad, has been terrible even. 6 games in 9 nights is just completely unacceptable, but whatever, we move on. And the Sixers obviously just lost against the T-Wolves and the night before against the Cavs as well. I'm not too bothered. I mean, it definitely shows me that if we do get an injury, we're pretty screwed. But then again, that's like for any other NBA team. So it's not like to say, oh, because of this, we need to trade for Zach LaVine. No. Obviously, Kelly Oubre was a big factor to this team. He's out. He might be back in a week, 2 weeks' time. So that's another burst of energy you get back. And as a whole, we've had Nick Batum in and out the lineup. So I'm not too bothered. You know, losing games on a back-to-back. Today, I believe they lost the Boston game on a back-to-back, or was it the Pacers game? I can't remember. I'm not too bothered by it. It is what it is. It's the NBA regular season. And at the same time, I don't care. I know this team is going to be in the postseason. I know this team's going to make a run. But it just depends how we look down the line when it comes to the postseason, when it comes to when it matters the most, how we look then. But let's not jump too far. But I wonder how Daryl Morey's looking at this. Is he looking at this where it's like, okay, cool, we look like one of the best teams in the NBA, fully healthy, when we had KO, integrating the new piece of Nick Batum, Rocco, Morris. I'm not talking about Morris, but maybe Morey's looking at saying, we can do something here. But maybe these injuries have made Morey think, okay, cool, we definitely need to acquire a guy like, I don't know, Zach, OG, if he's available. But I can't disagree. I'm going to give a small opinion now. I feel like we should be looking at a secondary ball handler off the bench, a 6-man type guy who can handle some ball handling pressure, because at the end of the day, Tyrese has been a great ball handler and D-Melt's been okay as a secondary ball handler, and Pat Bev's been okay. But then again, I feel like there's still a void there, because obviously, knock on wood, Maxey doesn't get injured, but if he does, we're cooked. And we're cooked regardless, but you can at least lessen the blow, because we have no other secondary ball handler, and that's bad. So I look at a guy like Malcolm Brogdon in Portland. We know how good he is. He's killed us on many occasions. A guy like Marcus Morris, and think, okay, cool, salaries match up. Could trade the 2026 pick via the Clippers, not the 2020 unprotected one, the 2026 one. And Marcus Morris, let's see if we can get a guy like Malcolm Brogdon in, because I feel like those are the type of moves we should be making. Moves around the edges which are enough for it to make a big enough impact, but not drastic enough to the point where it could have a detrimental effect, such as bringing the Zach LaVine, which I'm not really going to talk about too much. I just don't think it could happen. But a guy like Malcolm Brogdon would be perfect. Secondary ball handler, good shooter, can score, can give you 20 a night if you need him to, can play defense, and he's the type of guy you need. Because at the end of the day, looking at the way Tyrese has been playing, since the 50 ball, Tyrese is being hounded. As in, I feel like the refs are not giving him the correct calls. As in, every time he drives to the rim, I feel like there's so much contact on Tyrese. He's not really getting the superstar treatment yet. That might come, but there's blatant calls which the refs just aren't calling. So until that changes, Tyrese going to the cup is going to be a bit 50-50, because he does drive at full head of speed. He's aggressive, gets tackled, doesn't really get the call that often. So it's going to be a bit ugly at times, and he's going to have to take time to adjust. But I feel like that's definitely an area where Daryl could look, okay, cool. As much as Tyrese can do so much damage on the ball, we still remember when we had James here, Tyrese was still a very effective off-ball scorer. And we understand he has the DHOs with Joel, in which can be very useful. I think notably, there was one against the Cavs. I think Joel had it around the left corner / left wing. Tyrese came around once, wasn't there, gave it back to Joel, went right, came back down the screen. Joel absolutely got annihilated by Max Strus, so he was on the floor, but Tyrese got wide open again, knocked down the 3. So there's other areas in which Tyrese can still be very effective off ball. But getting a secondary ball handler, like for example, a Malcolm Brogdon who can play on the court next to Tyrese, allows him to be cool. Okay, defense is kind of hounding me, playing up, blitzing me when I come off a screen on the ball. But okay, now there's another ball handler who can do damage too. what you're going to do, because Tyrese can move off the ball very well, can be effective in that way, and it just gives extra layers into which you can use them. So I definitely look into that, if anything, but I'm not going to overreact and say Zach LaVine's needed, because I feel that could harm the team. If anything, Tobias has been brilliant. Tobias has been everything you could ask for from Tobias Harris. Efficient, taking shots in rhythm. The post touches are actually very, very good this season and beneficial, and he's just working within his means. He's not taking crazy shots. He's taking shots like when Tobias takes a shot, in my head, I'm thinking that's probably good, because that's the way Tobias has been playing. He's taking high percentage shots and overall fitting within the system of the offense. But, sorry, every time I say the system, I just think of James Harden. But my fault, but he's definitely done a great job there. Who else is there to talk about as a whole? Obviously, Nick Nurse has been perfectly fine, in my opinion. I know some guys are going to disagree with his end-of-game play calling, such as the Joel mid-range. But at the end of the day, Joel got an open look. That Joel's hit that shot many times and no one said anything. So I can't really blame Nick Nurse for trusting his superstar to go get you a bucket, because you look at other game-winning shots from guys like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, blah, blah, blah. I know Joel's not that, but it comes from the coach giving them the green light and giving them the license to. There's enough time on the clock, make something happen, give them the freedom to get to the spot they want to get to. So I can't really blame Nick Nurse for that. Again, later on in the season, when games start to matter more, I can guarantee there'll be better plays called. But at the end of the day, I'm not too bothered by that. Nick Nurse has been perfectly fine. Even playing Marcus Morris at the small ball 5 the other day, even though we got killed by the T-Wolves, I don't really mind it. As in, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but Marcus Morris was okay. Still don't think he should be playing, but hey-ho, here we go. But it looks like there's only 2 guys in this rotation who Nick Nurse, or in this roster who Nick Nurse just doesn't want. And that's Mo Bamba and KJ Martin. I still feel like KJ can do some damage. I feel like Mo Bamba is terrible. But hey, KJ might get his chance and he might be able to show what he's made of, and that will be cool. But for now, it doesn't look like Nick Nurse has too much trust in them. Cork Mars as well stinks. I don't care about the rubbish he had to start the season. Nick Nurse, being a good coach, when he had the good spurt, he let Cork Mars have some run, earn his role, but it's evident that this guy cannot play NBA level minutes, and he's gone again. Daniel House, I still do not think Daniel House should be playing. Yes, he's had a great impact, especially in the game against the Hawks. Great burst off the bench. Definitely that energy we need when KO's out, but I just don't feel like Daniel House is a rotational NBA player on a consistent basis. He might give you a good night where he's contributing 1 every 6, but that's just not good enough. I don't feel like Daniel House should be getting rotational minutes. But yeah, as a whole, the team's been cool. D-Melt, streaky shooter, started to get into rhythm recently, and the guys who are concerned about DeAnthony Melton, I think I said this in a previous video, I don't understand why. DeAnthony Melton is an NBA role player, meaning he is going to have hot spurts and cold spurts. He's a shooter as well. Guys saying DeAnthony Melton can't shoot, this, that, and the third. He's shooting around 45% from 3 on damn near 6 attempts per game. What more can you ask from the guy? And yes, that number's probably going to go down and fluctuate throughout the season, but he's a shooter. That's what happens. I'm not bothered about DeAnthony Melton, okay? I'm just more happy that when he gets the ball, he's very trigger happy. He's not afraid to shoot. And it's much better than having pump fake PJ in the corner. Back in the days, only a couple weeks ago, when this nigga will get the ball in the corner and not shooting it, like, it'll be frustrating. But I'm happy that we've got a guy like D-Melt when he has a lick of space, he's willing to let it fly, because that's what you need in the postseason. And yeah, I'm kind of happy with everything I've seen from everyone so far. I'm not going to really cry about Joel. Get down low more. I just don't have a problem with it. But so far, after these 15 games, I'd say it's led me with food for thought. Yeah, food for thought. If I was Daryl, like, okay, I'm happy with what I've seen, but I'm still going to be picking up the phone to see where this team roster can be improved on. I don't think it's a drastic move like a Zach. Again, people are saying OG. I just feel like the price tag for OG and Nobi is going to be way too high. It's not attainable. So looking at a guy like AC, Alex Caruso, seeing what his price tag is. I'm still a big guy on seeing what Malcolm Brogdon's price tag is, and looking around those kind of guys, I don't think you need a Zach LaVine, because the price tag's going to be too high. The money's too much, meaning you're going to have to put way too many contributing pieces to this roster that's going to cut through the depth. Or a guy like Tobias Harris, who I'm just not trading for Zach LaVine, sorry. So yeah, that's not really the direction I'd go in, but as a whole, I'm happy. Like, watching the team's been cool. I always had faith that this team would definitely be a good team, especially when Ben Simmons was out and Joel was playing with Furkan Korkmaz, Seth Curry, them not there, and were still the top 3 seed. So I knew they were going to do something this season, at least in the regular season. But it's nice to know that Joel can still make something out of basically nothing. So yeah, like, again, I ain't too bothered. We'll see what happens. Love the role players we have. I feel like Nick Nurse is doing a great job of utilising Robert Covington and Nick Batum, even though Nick Batum's fourth quarter the other day. Anyways, he's doing a good job of like knowing when to put Nick Batum and Roko in. And Batum's giving you a lot shooting the ball. But Roko defensively has been really, really good. Like, he's been getting into lanes, forcing turnovers, blocking shots. And I can't lie, his defense is going very, very under the radar. So I'm very happy with what I've seen from Roko. But yeah, so far, so good. I just wanted to briefly touch on everything. I feel like the team is just fine. Give it time. Oubre's going to be back soon. And the Sixers will be back winning in no time. So that's all I really got to say for this video right here. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Not really much more for me to say. Thank you guys so much for listening. Let me know what content you want to see in the future. But that's all I got for this one. Stay blessed, my people, and I'm out. Peace.